Hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. So, Originality AI has published a research paper or a case study, as you may probably call it, that goes into looking at websites that have been nailed by or clapped by Google's latest algorithm update. Now, if you've not watched my previous videos about Google's new March core update and spam update, then you would probably not also know that a lot of websites are being hit by a manual penalty, and then there's also an increasing number of websites that are being hit by an algorithmic penalty. And in most cases, it's AI content that's been cited as one of the reasons why those websites were hit. In fact, in 80% of the cases that I've seen to date, and it's been 4 days since the algorithm update has been announced by Google, 80%, 90% of websites that I've seen have been hit because of AI content. And it explicitly states in the manual action that it was hit because it has AI content in other ways, or it's mass-produced AI content. And so websites being hit, or if you're fearing that your website it will be hit at some point, then you have to look at whether your website has AI content, whether it's mass-produced content, or whether it's content that doesn't provide any value to users. Now, there are some people who will not be hit, and I'll not go into that, but the vast majority of websites, according to Google, 40% of websites will be hit if they have unhelpful content. And so we'll take a look at this report by Originality AI, which is a software that mainly checks if content is AI written or not. Now, the other problem with with Originality AI is it does not use Google's algorithm. And so even if your content passes Originality AI's checker, it does not mean if it will pass Google. And so I don't advise that you use any kind of originality checker unless you want to make sure that another human being that's using Originality AI doesn't check and find that it's AI generated content. If that's not the case, I wouldn't advise that you use Originality AI. So far, 2% of websites have received a manual action or a manual penalty by Google. And so what they've done here is that they've broken the research of the studies, and there's a link to the study in the description, so you can go ahead and read it in its entirety. But I'll break it down here and with my own 2 cents. It says, we have completed 2 significant studies in the last 24 hours to help people understand these updates, and both are included here. So the first study is list of websites that had manual actions in March 2024. So 1,446 websites had a manual action applied to them out of 79K websites checked in March 2004. Also keep in mind it's only 4 days this has been rolling out, and so there are going to be way more websites that receive the manual penalty. So these are not the only websites. The second study was AI content spam to blame for the manual action? I think that's the question everybody that's watching this video has. And 100% of websites, according to 100% of websites, had some posts that were AI generated. 50% of the sites had 90 to 100% of their posts as AI generated, and so primarily AI generated content. So far 1,446 websites have received a manual penalty, and these websites were in MediaWine, Rapid or Exonic. Now, the important thing here to keep in mind is that I've been working with a lot of websites that have MediaWine and Exonic on them, and over the years, I think over the past 14 months, I've seen them doing far worse with the algorithm than other websites. And so in a few cases, we've actually removed Exonic and MediaWine from the site, and that improved the rankings without us doing anything else. And so I think there's something funny going on here. I don't know exactly what that is, but that's not a discussion for this video. So out of approximately 79,000 websites, and I'm assuming these are websites that use Raptive, Exonic, MediaWine, 1.9% of them had received manual action applied to them. The cumulative traffic loss is 20 million visitors. 3 websites with over 1 million organic visitors per month went to 0. And so it says that 2% of websites have received a manual penalty or a manual action so far. It's also a graph of all the DAs and the DRs of the websites. So 3 websites, according to this, were receiving over 1 million organic visitors per month. And this is Zach Johnson, being fish.in, equalityatlas.org. I'm not familiar with these sites, but you can see that their graph just plummets down as soon as they're de-indexed. And so from 1 million visitors a month, they go down to literally 0. And it's within a day or so. So what they did was they identified 79,000 websites that have better than average rankings on the internet, checked if they were currently indexed or if they're not indexed, and they checked using Ahrefs and SimilarWeb, and then they created a list of all the URLs that displayed ads from popular advertising platforms built with lists. These platforms were selected because they apply the minimum standard to allow websites to be on the platform. And so mainly they were checking like what advertising platforms these websites were using, because advertising platforms have a minimum threshold that you need to meet in order to be part of the program or to be accepted into the advertising program. And so they checked, some duplicates were removed, and checked each URL to see if it was de-indexed by Google by using the site URL dork. And so every site that was de-indexed, we checked for February organic traffic numbers with Ahrefs and SimilarWeb. We confirmed with our method captured. Some of the publicity shared sites are captured in this method, which they were. And so basically they made sure that all the websites that they were checking were in fact getting the traffic that they claimed they were getting, and also checked that the URLs that were de-indexed or they were showed de-indexed and Ahrefs and SimilarWeb were actually de-indexed by actually searching using the Google Dark to find if those URLs were in fact missing from search. So the next question is, was AI content spam to blame for the manual action? And so many media outlets were quick to jump, and so they go into this. By using AI Checker, we wanted to do more rigorous analysis. We looked at 100 recent articles from the de-indexed sites that had already published. And so what they did was they looked at 100 articles that were recently published by these AI sites. And what they found were 100% of the websites had manual actions that showed signs of AI content. 7 out of the 14 websites that they analyzed, 90% of their sample websites. So 7 out of the 14 had some degree of AI content. And so 100% of websites had published AI content. And so the one common denominator here, according to this, is all websites had AI content on them. And so some were less AI content, some were more AI content, but most had AI content, or all of them had AI content. 7 out of 14 websites had 90% AI generated articles. And so again, the amount of AI generated articles you have on your website matters a lot more. You may think that having AI generated articles means that you have high quality articles. Google obviously doesn't see it that way. And then half of these websites were exclusively publishing AI content. 7 out of 14 of them were exclusively just publishing AI content. And so there's a whole list here. I put the list here on screen so you can see all the sites that are identified and that were hit very hard by Google's penalty, and they were all using AI content. And so the conclusion here is that if you've been using AI content and you've got a lot of AI content on your website will be clapped, and there's no getting away from it unless you find a way to redo all of that content if you have not been hit yet. If you've been hit, you will still need to redo all of that content, improve the quality of that content, or remove that content before getting your website reviewed by Google again. Now that can take several weeks, that can take several months, and in some cases where YouTubers had advised that you create AI websites to make money, you probably will never be able to recover. And so, as always, I advise, do not put your money into AI content. Do not invest any money into AI content websites. Do not buy AI content websites from places like Flipper, because a lot of these places just have guys that are scamming people by selling websites that are doing very well with AI content. And so the average buyer does not know what they're doing, and they would end up with a website with AI content that soon gets clapped because Google doesn't care where you bought the content from or where you purchased the website from. When it's clapped, you're going to lose possibly thousands of dollars. And so make sure that you check the website. Make sure if you don't know what you're doing, hire someone like me to take a look at the site before you buy it. I can save you thousands of dollars. I can save you from sinking thousands of dollars into a website that's going to be bad for your business. And so if you like the video, guys, like and subscribe. To read the article in its entirety, there's a link to it in the description. Let me know if you receive a manual action, and I will see you in the next video.